Namaste, everybody. Welcome back to our Soundarya Lahari session. Last week, we saw Śloka number 15, where Devi is portrayed as Shubhra Saraswati. Today, we will move on to Śloka number 16, where Devi is portrayed as Aruna Saraswati or Red Saraswati. Om Shri Matre Namah. May Devi's blessings be with you all. Quick recap on verse number 15. Sarat Chodsna Shubhram Shashiyuta Jada Juda Makutam Varat Trasatrana Spatika Katika Pustaka Sakrinnatvanatva Kathamiva Satam Sannidhatate Madhuk Kshiradраksha Madhuri Madhurina Bhanidayam. It said that Devi, you are glowing like Sharad Jyotsna, like autumn season, you are glowing, and you have Shashi on your makutam, on your Jatajuta makutam. Matted locks have a makutam, and on top of that, there is Shashi. Moon is down there. Then what are the four things that she was holding? Varat, Trasa, Trana, Spadika, Katika, Pustakagara. One hand she is showing Varamudra, which is her the fingers showing downwards. That is bestowing boon to the devotees, and the other one is Abhay Mudra, which is showing there is no need to fear. So removing all the fear from all the bhaktas. Then the third hand had Spadika Mala. The last one has Pustakam, which is showing symbol of wisdom and knowledge. So that is where the Saraswati bhavam coming. Now, the second part says, Sagrinnatvanatva kathamiva satam sannidhadate. Even once, if the sajjans are doing upasana to you, then they will have words flowing from their mouth like what? Like as sweet as madhu, kshira, and draksha, like honey and milk, the sweet as honey, quality as milk, and healing power as draksha. So those kind of words will flow from their mouth. Bhanitaya means Vaikiri, the words. The words will be flowing from their mouth if those people are doing the upasana to Devi as Shubhra Saraswati. Now that was white Saraswati, and now when it comes to the Śloka number 16, it is envisioning the goddess as Aruna Saraswati, as a red Saraswati. We usually are familiar with the white Saraswati. That is what the most of the pictures show. But there are different forms of Saraswati itself. In terms of Devata Bhavam, there are so many. All the Vashinyadi Vagdevatas are there. They are all considered to be assistants to Vagdevi. Then Matanki is another form of Saraswati. So there are different forms from a Bhavam. But from a colors perspective, the white Saraswati is one. Then there is Neela Saraswati. Neela Saraswati is the Buddha did upasana to Tara Devi. So that Tara Devi is Neela Saraswati. Then there is Suvarna Saraswati. And now this Aruna Saraswati is the one that is mentioned here. So we have a lot to talk about Aruna Saraswati. But before that, let's go through the lines. Kavindranam Cheta Kamalavana Baladaparuchim Bhajante ye santa Kadichitarunameva Bhavatim Virinji Prayasya Taruna Tara Sringara Lahari Gabirabhir Vagbhir Vidadati Sadam Ranjana Mami. Let's look through the word meaning. Kavindranam, the best poets, Kavi, Kavis Indranam. So the best of the poets, the gifted poets. Cheta means manas. Kamala Vana Bala Ataparujim. Bala Ataparujim. So Kamala Vanam, Kamala means lotus. Kamala Vana means Vanam is actually meant forest, but then Kamala Vana means a forest of lotus, means a lot of lotus, a group of lotus. Balātaparujim. Atapam is the sun rays, and Balātapam means a rising sun rays because it is not too hot. It's red in color. Balātapam means because rising, you all seen sunrise, right? It's actually red in color. It's light red, not the dark red. Kamalavana Balātaparujim. So what it says is that Kavindranam, manas of the Kavindram, is equated to Kamalavanam. So for that Kamalavanam, which is the mind of the gifted poets, for them, Devi is like a Baladaparuji. She's like a rising sun to these kavis. And then Bhajante ye santa kadichit arunameva bhavatim. That combined becomes kadichit arunameva bhavatim. So bhajante means doing upasana, bhajanti, right? Those who are doing the upasana, santa means good people, like the sajjana. So those sajjan who are doing the upasana to you as what? Like Arunameva. Aruna means red in color. So those who do the upasana to you, Kadijit actually means only some. Not everybody will be graced with this, but only some people who is doing the upasana to you as a red colored Aruna Saraswati. For them, you are like Bala Taparujim for Kavindran. So who the Kavindrana, their mind is equated to Kamalavana. So how is rising sun for the Kamalavana, or for lotus, it blossoms only when the sun rises. The lotus opens up only with that rising sun. So that is how for Kavis Devi is. The upasana of the Devi has been done in the Aruna Saraswati Rupam. Then she bestows the blessings to those people to have the Kavitva Bhava. Virinchi Prayasya Taruna Tara Sringara Lahari. Now that's explaining how that impact for this Kavindrana, right? For once they have been blessed by Devi, this Aruna Saraswati, then Virinchi Prayasya Taruna Tara Sringara Lahari. From them, the walk will be flowing like what? Taruna Tara Sringara Lahari. Virinchi Prayasya. Virinchi is Brahma. Brahma's Prayasi is Saraswati. Brahma's Prayasi, the Saraswatis, Taruna Tara Sringara Lahari. Taruna means yuvatvam, like youthful or passionate. You know how the people who are in their yauvanam, right? So those people, because this is showing a divine love between Virinchi and his Prayasi, that is Saraswati. So usually when we think about the love between Paramatma and Shakti, we always think about either Shiva, Parvati, or Krishna and Radha, right? But wherever there is Paramatma and Shakti, there is love. There is divine love. So here the divine love between Virinchi and Saraswati is what is showing during their Taruna stage, during their youthful stage. How does the love from Saraswati flows towards Dharpriya, Brahma? It has to be with Sringaram, and it has to be effortlessly flowing. So everyone who is in love, they knows that the act of love is just so effortlessly. When they are in deep love, that emotions flows so effortlessly. So that is what here mentioned, that if the Kavi has done the upasana to you, then the words flow from them as if the emotions are flowing. You're passionate and youthful. Those emotions of Sringaram is flowing from you to your Priyatam Brahma. That is how effortlessly those words will be. But it is not just a Sringaram. But what other things are characteristics of those words? Gabirabhir Vagbhir. So those has profound words. So it is not just Sringaram, but they are profound and magnificent words that's come out of these Kavindrana. And those words does what? Sadam Ranjanamami. They touch the heart of the Sadam is here also the Sajjanam. So there are two sets of people shown here. One is Kavi, who actually creates the work, whatever forms of art. When we say Kavi, don't just think of somebody who is writing a poem, but any kind of literary work, any kind of dance, any kind of thing that need a creative power is what is shown here. So one set of people is the one who is creating that art. And then there is one who is actually enjoying the artwork. So both are Sadam. In the mind of those people, it has to create the beauty and expression. It has to come in the mind of the people who are reading it, who are reading the poem, or who are seeing the dance, or who are reading the prose, or seeing a drama, or even a movie. So whatever with the work of art that is created, so those who see it or read it in their mind, it creates that kind of a power. The words or those art has such a power that it will cherish beauty and expression in those people, right? They touch the heart of those people. So that's the Sadam Ranjanamami. So Kavindranam Cheda Kamalavana Bala Taparuchim Bhajante ye Sanda Kadichi Tarunameva Bhavatim Virinchi Preyasyas Taruna Tarathrangara Lahirim Gabirabhir Vagbhir Vidatadi Sadam Ranjana Mami. O Mother, Aruna Saraswati, your color, that which is crimson color, glow, is like the early sunrise, right? That opens up the lotus of a poet's mind. So a poet's mind is equated to a lotus which opens up, which is doing the aradhana. That lotus is doing the aradhana of the sun, and that opens up when the sun rises in the morning. So just like that, Aruna Saraswati opens up the minds of the poets, and the words will flow out of them. And those words will touch the hearts of the people who are reading that. So that's why, with your grace, their thoughts blossom into profound and magnificent words that flow effortlessly. So it is not that they had to take any effort to make that poem. It just flowed through them, right? It's effortlessly flow through them as if they are waves of emotions emanating from the passionate and youthful Saraswati towards Brahma, towards his Priyadam Brahma, touching that. Those words touch the hearts of all who cherish beauty and expression. So this is saying about the Vaksiti again. We talked about the Vaksiti in the last verse. So here also the Vaksiti is what is showing the Pandityam of the Kavi, and that is achieved through the Upasana to Aruna Saraswati. So there are a few things that we need to see. Aruna Saraswati, we said there are so many different versions of Saraswati that people can do Upasana of in different granthas mentioned, right? If you think about it, here it doesn't say Saraswati directly, but there are two words that says Virinchi Prayasya, and also simply use the word Aruna, Aruna Meva Bhavati. That's it. It doesn't explicitly say that this is Aruna Saraswati, but we are deriving with those hints at Aruna and then Virinchi Prayasya. And that is exactly how Shankara has been doing, right? If you remember the second verse, right? Mureripu Varahasya Bhavati. It simply said that Bhumi Devi was sinking down. Then Varaham came and raised her up above the water level. And that's how people, Janma Jaladau Nimagnanam Damshra. Those Damshra, how they raised Bhumi Devi up, just like that, you will raise us. If we are immersed in the Janma Jaladi or Samsaram, then you are raising us up like Varaha, right? That is what that Varaha was mentioned, but the story is not there. But in order to see that story, we have to go back to Purana, especially in the first 41 verses. Śaṅkarācārya takes the hint from Purana, Idihasa, Rudrayama, many of the Yamalas, and then Tantra textbooks, and so many of these books are referred, and the hints will be there, but the story will not be there. So this one, interestingly, this is mentioned in a not so popular book at all. It's this form of Saraswati, the Aruna Saraswati, is mentioned in a book called Vamakeshwara Tantra. And that one is showing the Aruna Saraswati as a form with 8 hands, which is a combination of Kanchi Kamakshi and the Shubhra Saraswati we talked about earlier. So Saraswati and the Kanchi Kamakshi combined form is the Aruna Saraswati. So those 8 hands has 8 things that Devi is holding, and we will do a dhyanam to that slokam at the end. But the ones that Devi is holding are Kamakshi. You remember from sloka number 7, Devi is holding sugarcane bow, flower arrows, Pasha and Ankusha. So those are the 4 hands. Alongside the other 4 that we just saw in the last verse was Abhaya Varamudra, and then the Akshamala and book, Pustakam. So those are the 8 things this Aruna Saraswati is holding. So she is a rare, very rare, and I see that if you are thinking about that in the mind, it's actually a beautiful meditative form. So that blends both the grace of Goddess Saraswati and the power of Kanchi Kamakshi. So that is an 8-armed representation of the Devi. And you would think like why is Shankara kind of going back with so many different forms of Devata, right? First of all, we saw the difference between Devata and Ishvara. Devata are the ones that has one or more gunam. Ishvara is the one that is Nirguna Nirakara Rupam, but all the energies emanating from that Nirguna Niragaram though, right? So limited gunam is by different forms of Devata, and we know we have 33 crore Devatas, right? And if somebody actually find another new gunam, we can say 33 crore plus one gunam, right? That many Devatas. So those gunams are the ones that is represented by Devata. And we saw a good example of electricity and equipments, right? Electricity is the one that is flowing through the equipment. Electricity itself has no gunam of lighting up or giving the airflow or generating heat, none of that, right? However, when that same electricity is powering up a bulb, the light is there. There is a gunam of light, and it is showing the gunam of airflow when it is flowing through fan. And for heater, we saw that example where it is generating heat. Electricity itself doesn't have that gunam. It's gunatitam. But these equipments are the ones that are showing the gunam. That's exactly like Ishvara and Devata. The Ishvara is the one that is actually giving the power to individual Devatas, and Devatas will have individual gunam. The reason why we are praying these Devatas is to receive that guna. So it is very materialistic, if we can speak like that. To get the jnanam and vijnanam, we pray to Saraswati. We want to remove the obstacles, we pray to Ganesha. We want to get samriddhi, we do the upasana to Mahalakshmi, or Dhairyam and Dhirada for Subramanian, and all that Devatas are there to give us those individual gunam. So far that we go through 4 different forms, right? In Śloka number 7, we saw the form of Kanchi Kamakshi. Then we saw Shubhra Saraswati, and here the Aruna Saraswati. And Dhyana Slokam that we were doing at the beginning, Sindhurarana Vigraham, is also from Śaṅkarācārya. Why is he changing the form, right? So one thing is that, remember, Shankara is an Advaitin, right? So Shankara is actually talking about all these Devatas so that we can make an intimate connection with these Devata. The way that we can have our bhakti as bhakti generated is by having that intimacy with our Ishta Devata. So he's showing that he's showing to us through these forms, through not only through these forms, but also having his bhavam, that which all are beautiful things are coming up in the upcoming verses. By his bhavam towards Devata or Devi, he's actually showing us how we can create that relationship with Devi, with any form that we select, with Devi, and increase that bhakti in us, right? Only by having that bhakti in us, then only we will also lose that ahankaram, because it is very, very important that if we want to progress spiritually, we have to have that surrendering bhavam. Removing ahankaram is absolutely important. This is the step-by-step process where we can reach there. We don't have to say that this form is the only form, because when everything is Ishvara, when whatever we see, the Prapancham is Ishvara, every Rupam is Devata by definition, right? In these different forms, this is an ultimate reminder that Shankara is making, that Ishvara is beyond this. So that was the first sloka when we started this session last year, Navratri time. The first sloka we looked at was the 97. What is sloka number 97? Giramahur Devi Druhina Grihini Magamavido Hare Patni Patmam Hara Sahajari Madritanayam Turiya Kabitvam Duradigama Nisima Mahima Mahamaya Vishwam Brahmayasi Parabrahma Mahishi. After saying all these devatas and their swabhavam, swarupam, everything, explaining that, at the end, Shankaracharya is saying that you may be Brahmapatni Saraswati, you may be Vishnupatni Lakshmi, you may be Shivapatni Parvati, but I know that you are beyond these 3. Turiya Kavitvam Duradikama Nisima Mahima. Not only that, I know that you are beyond this, you are the Turiya Bhavam, which is the Parashakti, that the 4th, right? Like it is beyond the forms. And Duradigama Nisima Mahima. Your Mahima, we don't know. We can't even talk about your Mahima. It is beyond. And what is your Swarupam? Your Mahamaya Vishwam Brahmayasi Parabrahma Mahishi. You are the Mahishi of Parabrahmam. You are the Mahamaya who does the moham to all of us. We all think that this prapancham is too. We are different from this prapancham. That's what we are thinking. That is you. That is you. That is your Mahamaya is making that moham in all of us. So that is where Shankaracharya is bringing that Advaitam. So even though Shankaracharya is showing different surupam of Devata in each of these verses, which is absolutely important for us to make a connection, and obviously side effect is to we get the gunam of that Devata, right? But at the same time, we have to see that these are all the supreme Devata or supreme thing is that Paramatma, which is Nirguna Nirakara or Satchit Ananda. Right? So Nitya Shuddha Buddha Rupam. We can't even say there is a Rupam, right? This is there is no Rupam, there is no Gunam, Nirvikara thing, right? So that Parabrahmam is what we are. So it is a reminder. So even though when we talk about all these things, always remember that because here this is talking about different Devi Surupam. Since it is Soundarya Lahari, the whole thing is about the Soundaryam of Devi. The same person, Shankaracharya, wrote Shivananda Lahiri, the word Shiva as the Ishta Devata, right? And you know that Shankara also wrote so many Devatas, Stuti, Stotram, Bhujangam, Subramanya Bhujangam, very famous. So all those things, same person wrote. But what his intention is that wherever people are, because different people have different temperament, wherever people are, take them where they are, whichever Devata they can connect the most, that can be their Ishta Devata. He is taking them at the feet of that particular Devata. That's all what Shankara is doing. And through that, he's showing that beyond all these things, there is that Paramatma Rupam, Parabrahma Rupam. So that is something that we should never forget. So even when we are doing the upasana of these different devatas, we always remember that there is this something that is beyond these Rupam. Okay, so this is the verse from Vamakeshwara Tantram, which is describing Devi's Rupam, Aruna Saraswati's Rupam. It says, Arunakyam Bhagavatim Arunabham Vijintayel Pashankushadharam Devim Dhanurbanadharam Shivam Varadabhayahastam Cha Pustakakshasraganvidam Ashtabahum Trinayana Khelantim Amridam Budhau. Ambudam means Sagaram, the Samudram. So she is playing in the Sagaram, Samudram of which one? Of Amritam. We know that Sudhadara Sarai, we saw that, right? She is also known as Aruna. Arunakyam Bhagavadim Arunabham Vijintayet means she is known as Aruna. She also has the color Aruna. Pashankushadharam Devim means two things that Kamakshi is holding, which is Pasham and Ankusham. Pasham is the rope, noose, and Ankusham is the goad. Dhanur Bana Dharam. Dhanur is sugarcane bow. Banam is arrow, which is actually made of flower. So flower arrow. Then they are the Ayudham of Kanchi Kamakshi. And then there are the Hastam of Saraswati. So that is Varadabhaya Hastam. So two hands are in Varamudra and Abhaya Mudra. Then Pustakakshasraganvidam. She holds the sacred book, the Pustakam, and Japamala, Akshamala, that is representing supreme knowledge. Then Ashtabahum. Ashtabahum means 8 arms. Trinayana, she has 3 eyes. Khelantip, she is playing where Amridam Budau, ocean of nectar. Amrita means nectar, Ambuda means ocean. So she is playing in that ocean of Amritam. She is the one who will provide us that nectar of immortality by giving the enlightenment. So that is the Devi Swarupam. So we can do dhyana at the end. We will go into sadhana. You can all sit tall, close your eyes. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshal Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama. Vakratundha Mahakaya, Suryakoti Samaprabha, Nirvikhnam Kurume Deva, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. So today we will change our dhyana slogan. We will use Aruna Saraswati Dhyanam. So you can close your eyes and then you can slowly bring that picture in your mind as I talk each word. Arunakyam Bhagavatim Arunabham I am meditating on Bhagavati, whose name is Aruna, whose color is brilliant crimson color of rising sun. Pashankushatharam Devim. She's holding Pasham, nose, and Ankusham, goat. Dhanurbhanadaram. She's holding a dhanu, which is made of sugar cane. Banam, which is arrows made of flowers. They are the 4 items of Kanchi Kamakshi. Varadhabhayahastam, 2 hands are holding Varamudra, which is granting boon to the devotees, and Abhaya Mudra, which is dispelling the fear. Pustakaksha Sraganvidam. She is holding a sacred book, Pustakam. Then Akshamala, Jabamala, representing supreme knowledge. Ashtabahum, she has 8 arms. Trinayana, she has 3 eyes. Khelantim, she's playing Amridambudau, in the ocean of nectar. So I am meditating on that Devi who has Ashtabahu, 4 things of Kanji Kamakshi and 4 things from Saraswati. And I am meditating on that Aruna Saraswati. Keep that Vigraham of Aruna Saraswati Devi in your mind for one more moment.
सुधाधारासारैश्चरणयुगलां तर्विगलितैः प्रपञ्चं सिञ्चन्ति पुनरपि रसाम्नायमहसः अवाप्य स्वां भूमिं भुजगनिभमध्युष्टवलयं स्वमात्मानं कृत्वा स्वपिशिकुलकुण्ठे कुहरिणी चतुर्भिः श्रीकण्ठैः शिवयुवतिभिः पञ्चभिरपि प्रभिन्नाभिः शम्भो नवभिरभिमूलप्रकृतिभिः चतुश्चत्वारिंशद्वसुदलकलाश्रत्रिवलय त्रिरेखाभिः सार्धं तव शरणकोणापरिणताः त्वदीयं सौन्दर्यं तुहिनगिरिकन्ये तुलयितुं कवीन्द्राकल्पन्ते कथमपि विरिञ्चि प्रभृतयः यदा लोकौत्सुक्यादमरललनायान्ति मनसा तभोभिर्दुष्प्रापामपि गिरिशसायुज्य पदवीं नरं वर्षीयांसं नयनविरसं नर्मसुजठं तवापाङ्गालोके पतितुमनुधावन्ति शतशः गलद्वेणीबन्धा कुचकलशविस्रस्तसिचया हठात्त्रुट्यत्काञ्च्यो विगलिततुकूला युवतयः क्षितौ 50 हुताशे 62 दिवि 263 मनसि च 64 ये मयूखास्तेषामप्युपरि तव पादाम्बुजयुगम् शरज्योत्स्ना शुद्धां शशियुधजडाजूडमकुटां वरत्रासत्राणस्फटिकघटिका पुस्तककरां सकृन्नत्वा नत्वा कथमिव सतां सन्निधदते मधुक्षीरद्राक्षा मधुरिमधुरीणा भणितयः कवीन्द्राणां चेतः कमलवनबालातपरुचिं भजन्ते ये सन्तः कतिचिदरुणामेव भवतीं विरिञ्चि प्रेयस्या तरुणशतरशृङ्गारलहरी गभीराभिर्वाग्भिर्विदधति सतां रञ्जनममी
Om Shri Matre Namah. May Devi's blessings be with you all. Sarvam Shri Jagadambika Padaravindarpanamastu.